In this video, I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to set up your abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flow for your e-commerce brand. This is a flow that has generated over 8 figures throughout our clients. The thing is that most stores are actually losing up to 70% of just untouched revenue because they don't have this set up correctly. The basic, you just left something behind, they aren't just cutting it anymore. So after generating plus $20 million throughout our clients through all of these A/B split tests, I found that these minimum 4-step abandoned cart and checkout flow is a must-have. And these consistently recover up to 45% of lost sales. And I'll show you what to send, how to set it up, and what to write in the emails, all in this video. So you can actually start losing thousands of dollars in your abandoned cart flow and in your Klaviyo account. And it all starts with the abandoned cart flow. So there's 2 triggers that you want to be very sure of. I'll show you this in the later video, but over here I just mapped them out real quick. So you have the added to cart, which is also the abandoned to cart. This is not automatically added in Klaviyo. You have to do this manually. Then you have the checkout started trigger, which is already automatically added. You want to be aware of this when you're doing your abandoned cart flow and your abandoned checkout flow. 80% of brands, they don't even have this right. They just have a standard trigger and a standard email where it says, oh, you left something behind. And maybe they have an email too, where it's kind of a reminder, are you still not buying? That's it. As a bare minimum, you want to have 4 emails in your abandoned cart sequence. You can stretch this out to maybe 8, maybe 10 emails throughout a longer period of time. And most brands, they actually combine the abandoned cart with the exact same, what they say in the abandoned checkout. This is a huge no-no because the psychology behind being in an abandoned checkout or the abandoned cart is very, very different. So to be honest with you, this is one of the many cases that I see when going over an e-commerce Klaviyo order. You see this, it has an abandoned cart where the checkout is actually the trigger, which means that they don't have an abandoned cart sequence, they have a checkout sequence. And as I mentioned, you can see again where the checkout has started. And then they say, oh, you have some exciting products in your basket. And then they have actually put a draft here, which is wrong. And again, they have, oh, last chance to, recoup your products and so on. This is typically what an abandoned cart flow looks like for brands that are doing 200K, 50K. The worst I've seen is actually a brand doing 1.5 million every month, and they still had something like this. And in this case, you can see this is on a smaller example, a smaller scale. This is an added to cart, abandoned cart flow, where you have a split test of 1 hour or 3 hours. Then you have down here some different kind of emails where you can write a little bit of different types of copy. The same is when you want to have another checkout phase, 1 hour, maybe 3 hours. This is where you test every single thing that you want to do. And one thing I really want to mention is that you can divide these flows. For example, we have an abandoned checkout for old customers and one for new customers. We have the same in the abandoned cart where it's divided into these 4 phases. So it's very different from case to case. If you have a lot of subscribers, you have a lot of traffic, build out your sequences to at minimum 4 emails, build them way out for a minimum of like 6, 8 emails if you have a lot more. So customer puts an item in the cart, but they don't check out or they haven't bought anything. After 30 minutes, you can do a split test of time delay, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hour, it depends. We see the most success always around 20 to 30 minutes if it's the abandoned cart flow. They just need a quick reminder, if you fire too soon, like 5-10 minutes, they might already be browsing the site, so you don't want to actually annoy them, right? If you wait too long, it could be 6 hours. Again, depends on the case, depends on your AOV and everything. But start with testing around 30 to 60 to 90 minutes and just take it from there. So email 1, simple reminder, dynamic display, product info, and I'll show some emails just right here. This could be a different case where you want to have them what they've actually looked at. In Klaviyo, you can obviously pull the dynamic thing in here. Again, another email here, save your items. Again, this is a dynamic section and why we should do this. To be honest, I don't like this as much. This was just some examples I took. Wait 1 day, 2 days maybe. Email 2 from founder, text-based, social proof. Email 3, first discount maybe if you want to introduce that. Dynamic FAQ. Email 4, text-based, find reminder, offer support. Again, this is a pure plain text email from Proof Wallets. You can do this. You can do it way easier or way quicker. It doesn't have to be this much text, but you get the point of this. I like this a little bit more because here's the offer. Your order ships free. You want to check out maybe. In your cart is the dynamic finish checking out and so on and so on. It's really simple from the abandoned cart. Again, you can build this out way more and you can also design them in a different case. Again, depending on your specific niche and web shop. On a side note, if you're an e-commerce e-commerce store that are looking to actually scale up your email marketing, then click the link down below. It's the first link that you can click on and book a call with me. It's a free strategy call. Well, just on 15 minutes, I'll go over your email account and give you pointers and tips of what you can do better. Typically on these audits, we find around 10, 20, 25, 30% of email revenue is actually just laying there. So might as well book it and see if there's something to do in your account. And that brings me to the abandoned checkout flow. And this is where brands are really losing out on a lot of like free revenue. Typically, you want to recover around 30 to 45% of sales when you have this built and optimized. Again, the psychology is a little bit different because this is a checkout, not the abandoned cart. So wait around 30 to 90 minutes. It depends. You always want to test this, right? Quick reminder. Again, if you do it too soon, it's the same with the abandoned cart. Please don't do that. These are so close to buy. They've been to the checkout. They're ready to file the details. So you want to write a little bit different. But the trigger customer clicks checkout, but they don't buy. You could say a time delay of 30 minutes. You want to spread these out in Klaviyo again. So you test out a lot of different time delays. Email 1, just a simple reminder. Again, I've taken some examples here where you can see that the dynamic section is here. This is actually directly from Klaviyo, just as a template that you can fill in if you want to. Over here, we have a hybrid of, if we go to mail 2, we have a hybrid of kind of designed and plain text. These actually, we haven't found them so performing or not great actually. So take it and test it. We see that the plain text actually performs just way better because it seems like so personal. It seems like the founder, Dana, has actually just written this, right? Here they know that this is kind of set up in some way. But again, try them out, test it. See a couple of more designed here when we have some of this. Split it up and slice it so it fits into Klaviyo when you have the dynamic section. You could do the same and introduce a discount in mail 3 or in mail 4. It really depends on how aggressive you also want to be, but you want to tackle the kind of objections that or questions that your customer have when they're the abandoned checkout. So on this case, I just took an example. The profile filters for them to land at this flow: placed order 0 times, start checkout 0 times, place an order at least once, because these are actually new customers, right? And then you want to have them receive email marketing because they have subscribed, and you don't want to have them in this flow at least for 1 day. Down here, split test 2 hours 45 minutes, where we just pull up a little bit, and I want to show you an example of an email. So you see here in this example, we are doing actually an in order in Klaviyo, where, because this case is actually working, it's combined with some text, dynamic section, and then we have some reviews, as you saw on this one, where they kind of have this, right, where we have some reviews also. But this works really well. You want to have some of this structure, and then you can build it out. If I wanted to, you could make, since it's a new case, we don't want to do it yet, but you can make, again, wait 1 hour, and then you can make a new branch when you can wait 90 minutes, and so on and so on and so on. And when you have some of this, that's why you see that we have a revenue per recipient of 100, 245. You have all of this revenue just from the last 30 days. This is an extraordinary case, but it gives you a sense of just throughout our fundamental core flows that we haven't even fulfilled the whole potential. It's still generating a lot and a lot and a lot new revenue that they wouldn't have otherwise. And remember to divide it into new customers and old customers. All right, so here we are in a test account. What we want to do is go up in the right corner and click create flow. And what's super effective about Klaviyo, if you have Shopify or WooCommerce, there's already a lot of defined flows, and they come with a lot of different templates for the different kind of flows. So you don't have to build them from the bottom up. Just scroll down a little bit, and then there will be a lot of flows, which is defined out of the behavior of the customer, right? You want to click in this instance on the abandoned cart flow. What you really want to be aware of is that there is a difference between the abandoned cart and the abandoned checkout, because in the abandoned cart, you can see that the trigger is actually being set on the checkout phase. I'll get into this in just in a bit, but this is a problem. You could divide this into a high value cart and a low value cart. Since this is already Shopify integrated, all is good. And you see here the trigger is set on the checkout, which you want to be aware of. So you see all of this stuff here. This is where you need to go in and set the trigger correctly. You see the template is here, where you can see some of the flows or with how many emails you want to go. Looks very fine, so we'll just click use template. We'll just give it a bit of load time. Perfect. So here we want to have the trigger where you see again it's set on the checkout, which we want to obviously change. And there are some filters here. You see it's placed order 0 times before starting this flow. That's all right, because when you have placed an order, we don't want to send any more out, for example, as a reminder or whatnot. So we want to change some of this. We want to add add some filters. So click on the edit button. And again, what's really important to remember when you use Klaviyo and other software tools is that you wanna, they actually send emails whether or not you have already, or if they have subscribed to your newsletter or not. So you wanna put some of these filters on. So click here, and what someone has done or not done, you wanna have that placed order 0 times since starting this flow, and click the and button and select the condition of what someone has done, or if someone can or cannot receive marketing because they have subscribed. We want them to subscribe on your list before actually moving further down the road. And then you want to click the and button and just add one more filter. You want to has not been in this flow in the last 1 day, because you don't want to send out, if you have an abandoned cart flow, the checkout flow, the browser abandonment, or the welcome series, all these flows, you only want the one flow where the, is matching the flow that in. They don't want 8 emails, they just need this one email, so they don't get all of the different emails. And then you have it here where you can see all of the emails. You can do the preview text, the subject lines. And it's important to remember that actually a lot of people get this. So when they've had the first email, you don't want to send out a reminder. Obviously, this is something we again want to go in and change. So if they actually have bought from the first email, it's very important that you go in and set in and put in a conditional split. So after the 24 hours, you have your time delay. And that's again when you put a condition what someone has done or not done. Then you click placed order 0 times since starting this flow. In this way, then we know that the customer has received the first email and 20 hours after this. If they haven't, put an order, then they get a reminder too. Most people don't actually get this in place, and they are sending out reminders to people who actually have bought from you. So obviously want to get this in place. This is something that you can build out again and again and again. Always remember to put the conditional splits for all of your tests that you're doing when you're building all of these flows out. It can be 3 emails, it can be 8 emails. It's really, I want to say how many or subscribers or how much volume you're doing. Some of the cases we build out an entire system of 8 emails in each sequence and split test a lot of the time delays. But that's it for this video. And then you can build out all of these different types of abandoned cart and abandoned checkouts. Abandoned carts are just one piece, and abandoned checkouts are just one piece of the email marketing ecosystem that you need in order to have great success. Because the thing is, most e-commerce brands, they hire agencies or freelancers or in-house departments that actually don't utilize the full potential that there is with the email marketing and all of the subscribers they already have. They just blast generic campaigns and set up some kind of flows that they don't actually even know what to do with. They get a lot of data, they don't do anything with the data, and then in the end it's just a complete shit show. So I can tell you that there's a much better way after we've generated plus $20 million for our clients. And if you want to see that, book a call down below. How to do email marketing 99% better than any other out there. You can also click the video on the screen right now. It will take you to some other video where I break down the complete email ecosystem that we utilize for all of our clients. And that ecosystem is generating millions and millions of dollars in revenue for every single client we have. See you there.